Hey everybody, good afternoon. This is Aubin. I am a success coach here at Inside Real Estate. And today we're going to be talking to you guys about how to use some of the different automation features within KVCore to help your business. We can also talk about how to customize them, do things like that. So let me share my screen here. And if you guys do have any questions throughout, please just jump into the GoToWebinar control panel. There is a drop down for questions, and I will get to that as soon as I can. Let's make that better sizing here. There we go. So within the KVCore platform, again, I just want to make sure you guys are aware how and where to go to receive help, outside of our trainings. So the first place I would send you guys is our learning portal. Up here in the upper right-hand tile is our KVCore training information. When you guys click on View Learning Portal, that will take you to all of our courses to help you understand KVCore, how to break it down into a bit smaller bite-sized pieces so you guys can go at your own pace as you're learning the KVCore platform. Now, we've got things like the KVCore Quick Start, like our social media posting protocol, an advertising tour, things like that. Again, jump in here as you can, as needed, and get up to date on all of our courses. Now, back within the KVCore platform, we do have our support portal on the left-hand side. And so you guys can see this is where all of the support articles are going to be, product updates, new features, even a webinars and training tab. The one that I want you guys to really be aware of, even as we're going into our training today, is just be aware and kind of keep in the back of your mind. We have this article titled "The Complete Guide to Smart Campaigns." That's going to be a really big asset to you, especially as we're learning about these campaigns and how kind of unique they can be. If you guys do need additional help, my support team is down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Just click on that and reach out to them. They're out in California, so keep in mind they are Monday through Friday, 7 to 5 Pacific time. And then if you need to catch them after hours, you can always email them kvcore@insiderealestate.com, and they will get to it as soon as they can, when they're back from either being out of the office or during the evenings. All right, so like I mentioned, today is going to be mainly focused on the automation features within KVCore. So I'm going to go to our marketing autopilot section. And today I want to talk about all of the different communications that automatically go out from the system to your contacts and how you guys can control that, how you can edit that, again, to make sure you understand what is being sent out to your contacts and what you have control over to edit and kind of customize. So the first place I want to go is in this behavioral automation section. I'm going to click on our Learn More tab. Now, these behavioral alerts are kind of regards to when a lead does something specific on your website. So it's really important for you guys to be aware of the different contact types and the different statuses as KVCore recognizes them. So this is like, how do you define each of our different statuses? Now, we have a support article titled Contact Statuses that will give you a definition of each of our statuses to help you guys understand not only these behavioral alerts, but just about anything that's automatic within the KVCore system. So right here, I've got what are the default statuses, a list of them, as well as a definition that is right next to them. I'm actually going to even just chat this out to you guys right now because I think it's important to maybe even bookmark as you guys are understanding the different types of communication that go out. So when looking at this, a sphere is the people who you know that may or may not be interested in real estate. So jumping back to our behavioral automation, we are looking at and we can say, okay, well, what contact types do we want to receive alerts and automatic emails and text messages based off behavior on our websites? Now, I have gone in here and I have turned it off for my sphere. and I have only left it turned on for prospects, new leads, as well as active leads. Now, hopefully you guys have already gone in and configured how you want these settings to be. If you have not, I would kind of give that to you as a homework assignment to making sure you understand which statuses are going to receive these different behavioral alerts. Now, again, the behavioral alerts are based on behavior on your website. And so these are the 6 different types of behavior that we're taking a peek at and that we're notifying the lead, that we're kind of paying attention to. Now, where it says send agent alert, that is for you guys. So if you want to be aware of when communication, or excuse me, when your leads are performing certain behaviors on your website, making sure the toggle is turned blue, because blue means on within KVCore. And so again, which behaviors do you want to be notified by email and by text message saying, hey, lead John Smith has viewed 10 properties in the last week. That'll send you a text, it'll send you an email, and maybe that's going to be your little trigger in your head to say, hey, well, this person's hot. They're hot on my website right now doing a bunch of stuff. Let me give them a call. And again, the system's not going to tell you to do that, but I'm hoping you guys can read between the lines on some of these notifications and kind of kick off and engage with these leads. Now, we just came up with this new feature over here on the upper right-hand side, this behavioral automation. So this is actions we take, so the system will take based on the behavior of your contacts. So if you turn this on, we will alert you in your daily KVCore email when this action has occurred. So what we're doing right now is when a new lead or a prospect responds to one of your messages, we are going to move them to an active lead status. Now, again, if you leave it off, we're not going to do it. We're not going to touch anything. You guys will have to manually go in and update this statuses. But if you turn this on, KVCore will do it for you, and as well as alert you when this has happened. So that is our behavioral alerts. That's probably one of my favorite features that we have regarding automation. A lot of the leads that come through your website or through your marketing tactics here, they're going to be internet leads. And internet leads are sometimes hard to close because you never know, when they're ready. When is that incubation time reached, their availability, and you're ready to go and start moving forward with the buying or selling process for them. Now, the behavioral automation takes that guessing game out of the real estate business when people are actively using your website. You're sending people back to your website, so again, we can track this behavioral automation. Now, another type of automatic communication that goes out to your contacts are your smart campaigns. Now, these are more commonly known as drip campaigns, and drip campaigns are basically a set of marketing materials that go out on a schedule. And so we have a KVCore library full of 21 pre-built campaigns that they've already got the templates of the messaging to send. They already have the dates configured. And these are kind of determined as our top converting campaigns, and converting in the sense of getting your contacts to respond back to you. So we've got a bunch here in our KVCore library where you guys can search the campaign name, the description, when is this campaign going to start, and via what channels are we going to communicate and how many times. Now keep in mind, again, this is an automatic start trigger, meaning when your contact hits this starts when and designed for columns, they match that. This campaign is going to automatically be assigned to your contact, so you guys don't again have to, you can take the guessing game out of it. KVCore is automatically going to assign these campaigns, and then it's going to already start sending emails and text messages based off of what is in these campaigns. Now, this is exactly what we want to happen because you guys can't, sit at your computer all day. You can't be texting your contacts, the entire day. And so KVCore is going to do it for you, so you guys can spend more time doing things like setting up for your open houses and getting new sellers and doing things that computers can't do. Because again, we have computers, we've got the technology, we've got the AI to help with that. So might as well just kind of automate your business. So like I mentioned, we do have these 21 pre-built campaigns. And then the way you guys add them is either click Add to My Library, or you can click into one of the campaign names. And then you're going to have the option to clone this campaign. Now, they basically do the same thing. I prefer to just click the Add to My Library button because everything's going to be configured. It's all going to be the same. And then I can just jump in and do what I need to do there. So again, cloning or adding to your library is practically the same step. And so when I click down to add to my library, you'll notice that I have a My Library section underneath the KVCore library. Now, when a campaign is added to my library, that means those are the campaigns that I can choose from to assign to my contacts. Now, you do have to determine if you want this campaign turned on or turned off, though. So there still is one more step kind of configured before these campaigns get automatically assigned to your contacts. Now, you can tell by the status toggle over here in blue on the right-hand side, is this campaign turned on or is it turned off? Now, again, even though if your contact matches one of your My Library campaigns, but the status is gray, your campaign will not start and nothing will be sent out to your contact based off of that campaign. Now, you guys may have some campaigns that have things like a grayed out lockbox, like I do on mine right here. Now, this means it's coming from my company and that they have determined that they want everybody in the company or the office to use that campaign. Now, that just means I cannot turn this campaign on or off. My company is going to set this up for me. Or if you guys see a white unlocked lockbox here, again, that means it's coming from your company, but they are saying, hey, we are going to give you this campaign, but we want you guys to decide if you want it turned on or turned off. Now, again, to turn it on or off, you just have to click that status button over here on the far right-hand side. And now the cool thing with these unlocked campaigns or ones that you guys can add or create yourself is that you guys can then decide to customize or edit any piece of that campaign. Now, I don't recommend doing it for these locked campaigns just because they're locked, and if you have one turned on, that means that you may have you have the locked campaign is turned on, and then you clone it and create your own campaign off of that one. Your lead is basically going to be getting the same information twice, which they may start clicking that unsubscribe button, which is not what we want to have happen. So I'd really only clone campaigns that were unlocked or up here in the KVCore library. Now, the way we can do that is, I don't think I have any that are unlocked, but let's just pretend that we have our default closed campaign. And even though it's locked, maybe it's unlocked, you still have the same options here when we click on the campaign name, where we can see the campaign actions, so what's going to take place within this campaign. But then you've got this green clone option. So I'm going to click on clone here, and it's going to bring up a little pop-up. Now this pop-up is your campaign settings. So how do you want these campaigns to work? Now, what's the start trigger is this first question. Now, this one is for a closed campaign, so a closed status. So status is closed. Well, I'm okay with that. I want to keep it. Now, who is this campaign for? For buyers, sellers, renters, or everybody? I'm going to say everybody because they're already closed. And then what is the campaign details? What's the campaign name? Well, I don't want this to be my default. I want this to be just closed. Boom. Now my description, what's going to help me remember? I'm just going to say for contacts whose status is closed. Now this always running option can be a little tricky, but what this means is that if a contact hits one of the triggers that you have set, and you have an always running campaign, they have an opportunity to also match another campaign with more specific triggers. So always running means you may have multiple campaigns getting assigned to your contact at the exact same time. Now, my personal preference is to leave always run set to no, unless I have a very specific campaign. Whatever it is, that could be very specific, very drilled down. It won't compete with any of my other campaigns. Or if I have a very general campaign. Now, this may be, hey, this is me. I'm in real estate for this many years. Check out my website. Give me some feedback. Very general, applies to just about anybody. Now, this locked option beneath that means this is really for your admin settings, though. And this is how they control, do they want you guys to be able to turn these campaigns on or off? Now, at an agent level, it really does not make a whole ton of difference. And so I just leave both of these settings set no and no. So again, when you're cloning a campaign or when you're creating a new campaign, the most popular way to do it is to have always run set to no and locked set to no. Now I do review my campaign, making sure everything is how I want it, and now I can clone this campaign. Now we're going to give it a second because it's going to refresh and it's going to have all of our updates here. And so now we can see I've got my new title. I still have my clone option, but now I've got an edit button, where if I click on that, that will bring me to my campaign settings again. I can click on this remove option, which will delete this campaign, meaning it is no longer available. And then over here on the right-hand side are our campaign actions. So again, these are the things that are taking place and making up this particular campaign. So you can see on day 30, after someone is marked with the status of closed, we've got an email that is going to be automatically sent out from the system to the contact, and it's going to be a 1-month post-close email. And then we've got a call, a few other emails, a text message, and then a change of status to sphere after 1 year. Now you'll see we also have some options to add actions, to delete actions, or even edit any current actions that are available. So right here, you guys again press delete. Maybe you don't want to do as many emails, whatever it might be. Or we can add a new action. Maybe we want to add an additional text message earlier on, or we can edit the current action. So on day 30, let's take a look at this email. And we can say, okay, well, the name of the action, we have a template here, and then we've got the from and the time frame of when this is going to happen. Now, the template is actual content that makes up this particular action. So when I click on view this template, you can see what the message is going to say that's going to be sent out to your contacts. So all you have to do is click on that toggle to bring that up. You can also see out of the email templates, again, you can see there's an email up here, and it's a template. You can click on this drop down and pick from a variety of different templates that are available to be used. Now, if you guys want to make any updates or changes to this particular template or build a brand new template, you have to go to our templates section up here at the very top. Now, all of the templates are broken out by category. So we've got emails, text messages, phone calls, tasks, or webhooks. And when I click on my email, I want to do, it was 1 month and a post-close email. So now I can press on clone because this is a pre-built campaign. And now I can say, okay, well, maybe I don't use the phrase, I pride myself on constant improvement. Maybe, you phrase things differently. You can jump in here, type anything out. You can delete anything that you guys want to. Now you can also notice we've got these brackets with information in them. Now these are called merge tags. And these merge tags will autofill your contacts or whatever information is within these brackets when you use them from within our system. So again, up at the top, we've got hey first name, and that's your lead's first name. We've got your agent first name, which is yours, and then a CMA link that may happen there. Now, how you get to those is by clicking on this sun icon called an Insert Merge tag. Now, we can pull lead, agent, lender, office, or listing information for your contacts. So again, you can make a template, but still have that template be a little more customized to your contacts as opposed to just leaving it very general. It gives a little bit more of a personalized feel. So maybe here what I want to do is I am always looking for ways I can improve. And instead of my first name, I'm going to change this by clicking on my sun icon, and I want to do my agent full name. And now instead of having the template name be just copy, I'm just going to do this for me. I'm going to do Aubyn's edits and clone my template. Now you'll notice I'm still in my template section, but if I search for 1 month, now I've got my own edit template, or I can now re-edit that template. I can clone this one again, or I can delete this particular template. Now, just because I have edited a template does not mean it is added to my campaign. So what I have to do is jump back to my campaign library, jump back to my particular campaign, and then I need to make some edits. So I want to press on this edit option and pick my new template from the drop-down. Now I always view the template with a toggle, making sure it's got, it looks like I spelled always wrong, so that's good for me to check. But go back, update the, always, make sure it looks good, and then I can save that and update that template. So that's how you guys can clone and edit any pre-built templates. That's also how you guys can clone and edit any pre-built campaigns. Now, I want to show you guys how to create your own campaigns. So in our My Library section, I want to click on this green Add Campaign button. Now, again, this is going to be your campaign settings. So instead of having options here for you to edit, now you guys just have to fill these out, from a blank option here. So let's say I want to do an open house campaign, or maybe I want to do a campaign based on a squeeze page or a landing page that I created. Or maybe I have a campaign for specific types of leads that come in with a particular hashtag. So you guys have to determine what campaign you want. So if a lead is new, maybe if they're new from a specific source like Millions Mapped or an organic website or things like that. If a lead is transferred to you, if they're moved to a particular hashtag, or you can add multiple triggers here. So we can get really creative and do, okay, well, if their status is a closed contact and their hashtag is, I don't know, golf course, and they're assigned to a particular lender, we can, do a whole kind of campaign based on that. Now, my favorite campaigns to do are based on statuses, sources, and hashtags. So if you guys aren't sure how you want to design your campaign, those are the 3 most popular triggers for me because I think those are the ones that I'm updating most often. So I'm just going to do if they're moved to a hashtag of golf course and press next. Now, again, you can do hashtag of open house. You can do the source of your open house app, whatever it is that might be beneficial for you guys. Now, is this campaign designed for a buyer or a seller? I'm going to do a buyer. What's the campaign name? Golf course description. When golf course hashtag is added, just so I remember. Do I want this to always run? No. Do I want to lock it? Probably not. And then press next. Now it just, again, is a review, lets me know. Now I can add my campaign. Now when you add a campaign, and even when you add it to your library or when you clone it, the campaign will be set to off. You also need to refresh your page to make sure that that campaign is added onto this page. So let's give it a second here. There we go. And I'm just going to use my search bar and type out golf. And now I've got my new campaign. So all of my settings are still here. I just don't have any channels or touches, and my campaign is turned off. So what I could do is I can click on this golf course option or campaign. And then you'll notice on the right-hand side, I don't have any campaign actions. So what you guys will need to do is jump in and create your own templates, or jump in and add actions from templates already created. Now, the trick to these campaigns is really to create your settings first, then go into your templates and build all of the templates that you want to, and then jump back into your campaign and then just start adding them, picking the template, picking the time frame, and then saving it. That's kind of the most efficient way to create your own campaign or even edit a campaign, is to do the templates first and then to jump back and add it to your campaign. Now, I want to show you guys what that kind of looks like from a leads perspective. So let me click on my Smart CRM here. And so all of my contacts, again, are in my Smart CRM, but maybe I want to know, which of my contacts have campaigns turned on, or which ones don't, or maybe I do need to add a manual campaign to a contact because they were added prior to my campaign existing. So the first thing I could do is I can click Filter, and then I want to scroll down to my behavior, because I have this toggle option that says it does not have campaigns running. Now I want to see who does not have a campaign running, so then I can say, okay, well, I do have a new lead buyer campaign that I can press more actions, and I can add a campaign from here where I've got my, let's see, new lead buyer campaign, and I can add that campaign to this contact. So let's click into this and see what it looks like. You can see I now have a campaign with a little check mark over here on the left-hand side. If I click down on that campaign section, I can see what campaign is added. And if I hover my mouse over the campaign title, I can pause the campaign, I can restart the campaign, or I can remove the campaign for this particular person. Now, you may want to pause the campaign if they respond back to some of your messaging. You may want to restart the campaign if you've gotten updated contact information, or you may need to remove the campaign if your contact has asked for no more messaging or things like that. Now, within the leads profile here on the timeline, you guys have this future touch points option. So clicking on future touch points, you can see, okay, well, what is next within this campaign? Well, I've got my phone call that I need to complete today, where I'm supposed to call and leave a voicemail. Well, tomorrow I've got an email that's going to be sent out, but I can decide if I want to delete this campaign or this campaign action or not. Or again, you can say, hey, I just want to pause this campaign from running. Now, over here on the far right-hand side, you can click on More Actions, or you guys can unsubscribe from emails, you can unsubscribe from texts, or you can turn on or off those behavioral alerts individually. So remember those behavioral alerts. Now, instead of having people do it at, at the status level from within there, you can do it at the individual individual level for receiving these alerts. Now, another type of communication and automatic things that KVCore does I want to talk more about is the automatic phone calls that KVCore assigns to you guys. So we have an article that explains our reasoning of kind of why we pick the people we do when assigning you guys phone calls to complete. And they are right here. So what scenarios trigger phone calls, or what conditions must be true for a phone call to be created, and contacts must fall into what criteria. So we kind of break it out for you guys, kind of explaining our reasoning behind this. Um, your calls and your daily tasks are going to be set up here in the today's summary section. And you should be getting emails about this from KVCore. And so you can see I have 2 calls and I have 2 tasks that I need to complete. So I can click on my call section and I can say, okay, well, I need to call them because they've never been called. And that's one of these daily phone calls. Or I can call and leave a voicemail because I know that's part of that campaign that I was just assigned, if you remember. So because this is the same lead, though, I'm kind of looking at it, I can click on their name. And what I can do is I can say, okay, well, because they've never been called, or I want to do it because of a task. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my green phone. It's going to bring me this pop-up option to make the phone call. But instead of actually calling, because I have 2 call tasks right now, I can click on log call and say calling with different task. And I can put contacted. Now you can see that makes my call marked as logged. And let's see if it wants me to save it. And now I can say, okay, there's an outbound call. He was contacted, but I'm calling with a different task. Now what I can do is, okay, well, I got marked that, I marked that as completed. I've got my note letting him know that I didn't actually do anything here. But again, I can call from here. I can complete the task from here. Or if I close this, I can still do it from this main page. So I can snooze this call for 1 business day to go out, or I can call again, which is, that same pop-up screen where we're going to connect to KVCore. You guys are going to connect to your lead together. And then you can actually, log the call appropriately based on, how you talk to them. So was it an outbound or inbound interaction? Did you have any notes to make, or were they not home? Did you leave a voicemail? Making sure that any notes you guys have, you add to this log call section. So you guys, again, can stay up to date with your contacts, because you may or may not be talking to them, frequently. And it's going to be helpful for you guys to remember, what you talked about or what has happened with this lead. Now, another form of mass communication that you guys can do for a particular status, this one's not as automatic. However, it does go out at a specific date and a specific time that you guys set. So for our scheduled mass emails, this is things like customer appreciation night, maybe a customer happy hour, maybe, post open house thank you. Maybe even a monthly or a quarterly newsletter that goes out from you or from your company. So what we can do here is we can click on schedule an email. And you have to pick who should receive this email. Now, we've talked about in our past trainings having those saved filters. And so what I can do is I can say, okay, well, I can pick one of those saved filter options. I can send to a particular hashtag. Maybe you've got a newsletter hashtag for the people that you're going to send it out to. Maybe you also have, and you're using the KVCore Open House app, and you're going to send it out to the specific open house attendees with their hashtag that came in. Or maybe you're going to do it to up to 3 different statuses. So again, maybe it's customer appreciation night. I'm going to do my clients, my contracts, and my closed contacts. Now pick the date and the time of when you want this to send out. And then you guys can pick a template. So maybe you guys do these, quarterly customer appreciation nights and you've got a template for it. Well, just add that template, add the template into the Smart Campaigns section, and then choose that template from this drop down to be added to your emails. Or you guys can build out the email right here below. Now, the cool thing about these scheduled mass emails is that even though you may only have a few contacts that hit that status or hashtag or filter right now, KVCore is going to update this, who's involved with this trigger up until the date and time that it gets sent out, making sure nobody is missed as long as they hit that particular trigger that you have set. Now, the last piece of automation I really want to talk about is search alerts getting added to your contacts. Now, there's two different ways I want to talk about it. The first one is kind of the more traditional way. And so let me just click on a contact here. Bad contact, they don't have any information. Let's do this one. So I've got my contact here. You can see that they are turned on for search alerts. But how we've done that is because KVCore will take the property that your contact looks at within the first 24 to 48 hours of registering as a contact on your website. And then KVCore will automatically send out emails and kind of send out an average of the properties that they've looked at and assign them to that smart campaign. So that's kind of an automatic thing as long as your contact looks at listings within the first 24 to 48 hours. Now, if your contact does not, I would still highly encourage you guys to put your contacts on some search alerts. And the way you do that is clicking on this alerts tab up at the top of the lead's profile. Now, because this person does have a search alert already added for Newburgh, how often is it going to be sent out? Maybe we want to change it. So we can click on this edit button. And then we can say, okay, well, what's their listing type? It looks like they're looking at single family. What are their keywords, options, area or areas, or even draw on a map, the area that they're looking in. Their beds, their baths, price range, acres, square feet, year built, and then even frequency. Now, KVCore, if it's automatic, will default to sending these out once a week, but you guys can pick, as soon as instantly, as late as monthly, to get the right type of communication out to your contacts. Now, because we already have an alert here, I'm going to cancel this and I want to show you guys, these are the recent results that fit their particular trigger. So I can send recent results via email, which is the automated way to do that. You guys can also text these out or copy them, but it isn't a more manual process. You can turn these these search alerts on or off by making them active or inactive. If it is inactive, you guys can still see all 435 results that fit their particular criteria type. If I click on that, that will take me to my website, or I can look at different properties, and maybe that's how I'm going to determine, what they're interested in, what I think they might like better, or kind of even just send them out this whole entire list if I want to in its own email. Now, the second way I want to talk about this is within our marketing autopilot section for our search alerts option right here in the middle. Now I'm going to click on Learn More. And now, like I mentioned, it is a fantastic idea for you guys to have search alerts on just about every single one of your contacts. So this is kind of talking to you about why search alerts, click here for help, what types of alert examples go out. But then we can also have auto-assigned search alerts go out based on a particular hashtag. So we can basically set up your Facebook ads to automatically have this hashtag applied, and then it will assign them to a search alert based on that, the criteria that you set for your Facebook ad. So really cool. You can even do like a general, search or general hashtag. So like, New York City, and just every property that, is in New York City, or whatever it is that you guys can add, again, based off of the hashtag. Now, all you have to do is click on Create Alert, pick the hashtag that you want, pick the area, pick the options, everything should look this, similar from our alerts option from within a profile. And then we can add the alert to that particular hashtag that gets added. So hashtags are becoming increasingly important, and hopefully you guys are using them not only to build these search alerts, but also to start a drip campaign to organize, your leads a little bit more, to send out manual listings, do a whole variety of things with those particular hashtags. Now, again, there's a ton you guys can do with automation. KVCore is a very automated platform, and that is by design. It's on purpose. We want to cut down on the time that you guys are sending emails and text messages and things like that, so you guys can focus on, more important things like setting up for your open house, trying to generate more sellers, all that helpful and good stuff, part of real estate. Now, we've got tons of time left for questions. So if you do have any questions, please go into that go-to webinar control panel, find the questions drop down, and I'll be happy to answer your questions there. Yeah, you are very welcome. And thank you to all of your agents who have attended today's training. We are doing another training, you guys, so stay tuned, where we're going to be talking about how to generate some free leads with KVCore. So again, I think it is extremely important that you guys kind of get into all of your settings, be aware of those behavioral alerts, be aware of those drip campaigns and how they're going to function before we start generating a whole bunch of leads and getting them added to your system. But again, thank you guys so much for joining me on the call today. And we will talk very soon where we talk about some lead generation. All right, take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.